Hey, my name's Ian. I'm from That Damn Show on 98 Rock. I'm here at AFTERSHOCK 2019, and you're watching Reality Check TV.
Hey, this is Shell with Reality Check TV Sacramento. Day 2, AFTERSHOCK 2019. This is number 8. We have a special guest. Not only is this guest on the #1 show in California, he's just like all around cool dude. Ian, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's a great pleasure to talk to you guys. How you doing?
We're good. Well, okay, first of all, let's just talk about this. What's up with this chair, man? I know it's kind of Prince-like, right?
It really is. It's so cool. Like, it's so big. Like, I want one of these for my house. People come over and think that I have this throne. That's exactly what it looks like. It's awesome.
You know, I was talking a little crap. I was over there at the Epicenter, and you guys are the #1 show. You're this close to getting a billboard. Why do you have the shittiest fucking couches that are peeling like plastic? I think that upgrade next year, 2020, with Metallica coming. What do you think?
Man, those are just couches that we have lying around the building. I swear to God, like they're not. We didn't go out and get them. Like the couch that you have, that's our damn couch that we have listeners come in and sit on. Like they stole it from our studio to bring it here.
Seriously, how do you like clean that later? I mean, I don't know.
Oh.
So next week when the listeners sit on your couch and spend it AFTERSHOCK.
Oh, they're gonna have to get some tidy wipes and get all this dust off because AFTERSHOCK is great. But one thing, the reason I got this bandana is because at a certain point in the day, it's gonna get really dusty and you're gonna want to cover your mouth because last year it was awful. It was so thick.
Oh, you got me thinking. You know what? They're not going to be dirty. I'm going to get some clean ones, but I'm so shoving some panties on the side there for when you guys bring the couch back.
You know what? That's totally fine. And when we get it back to the station, I'll act like it's a surprise and I'll go looking for it. Like, oh, what is this? Let's do that.
Do that? Okay.
That's totally fine.
Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. So there's a couple things I want to talk to you about. First and foremost, you're doing this podcast again, but before you get into it, can we talk about the history? Like this is a reboot of the podcast?
Yeah, kind of. I started one before I even got into radio because it's just what I wanted to do. Podcasts were very big back in the day, and they are still now, but they were just taking off. And I wanted to do one about, movies and television, which I'd love to talk about. I'll talk your ear off about anything movie related. And it didn't go very far because people's work schedules got in the way. And then a couple years later, we tried to do a YouTube series, and then I ended up moving to Sacramento, so we couldn't do it again. Then a buddy of mine moved out here who I used to do the podcast with, so we decided not to do a YouTube series, just rebrand as a podcast and do the same thing we used to do.
That's cool. So this guy that you originally did it with, or a new person?
No, he's new. We used to live in Panama City, and I moved out here first, and after the hurricane hit and everybody wanted to kind of get out, he knew me, so he didn't know where he wanted to go. I said, come out here, live here, and he got a job. He's doing great, and then we just decided, hey, now that you're steady, you got a steady work schedule, I got a steady work schedule, let's see what we can do and see if we can get it back going again. But let's do a podcast instead of a YouTube series because editing that is a nightmare when it's only the two of you and you don't have anybody that knows how to do it. We kind of learned as we went. But audio editing I can do in about 5 minutes, so it was just a lot easier to do a podcast instead of a YouTube series.
So will we see you? I mean, this is, like any professional. I mean, you're in the radio business. I used to be in the medical field, but everyone always has a side gig, right? So this is kind of like you got the radio, you got the people with podcasts hope to get your job, right? So you got the job doing a side podcast, which I think is interesting. Will you ever try to do Comic-Con separate from 98 Rock? I mean, if this takes off, because I mean, you do all the superhero stuff, right?
Oh, I would absolutely love to, but that goes back to, we'd have to get the YouTube series started again and somebody who actually knows how to edit video. Otherwise, I would absolutely love to do it, but right now, because it's only two of us, and we didn't know anything about video editing, we watched God knows how many YouTube videos on the subject of how to edit video. It's just not in the cards right now, but that would definitely be something that I'm totally open to doing, because I want to go to Comic-Con, and I live, 5 hours from it. I have no idea why I haven't been before.
Okay, so you mean, the main one is in LA versus, I'm thinking, Sacramento one. Is that the poser one? I mean, not to talk shit about Sacramento, because I don't know enough.
No, the one is in San Diego, but
those are the big ones.
Yes,
okay.
And there's one here, but for some reason they always do it while I'm working. Like it's going on, and I've got a radio show to do, so I can't be there. And our show's not really about superheroes, so I can't really get time to be there while I'm live with that damn show at Sacramento Comic-Con or whatever. Like, it's just not our brand, but it's what I do on the side. But I would love to do it if they would do it on a day that I had off.
Okay, Camera and Kev, this is just food for thought for later. We'll get him passes next year because we can easily get in Comic-Con, and we'll just have him a pass, and he could do one of his like little like, you know, you do research right before the show, usually from 10 to 12 or whatever you do. We'll get him in next year. Well, that's a hope, right? So would you do that if we got arranged it?
I would absolutely love to. Yeah, that's one of my.
What would you dress up as, or just be you? I mean, because it's Comic-Con, don't you go with an alter ego?
You kind of have to go in costume, but I mean, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I would probably go as like maybe Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly. That's a great show. Maybe. Something that's not too complicated. Like I don't want to be sweating my ass off all day long, but something that is easily recognizable, like maybe Doctor Who or something. They're just regular clothes, but I don't want to be in a costume with a cape and whatnot.
All right. So taking it back to the high school days, you got your first kind of buzz with like the artistic feel. You said were you in the drama club or did you just do acting? Tell me about high school or how far it went back.
I wasn't in the drama club. I had an elective and it was drama class, and I did choir and theater when I was in elementary school, and I really wanted to do that as an elective, and I somehow got in because it's a very high demand class to be in. I got in, and then I got my real taste for it, and then next year I took it again. Then I went to college, and that's what I decided I was going to major in, but I didn't actually end up finishing school, but
you took a side route, right?
Yeah, I really did, because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my theater degree, but I did know I wanted to entertain. But because I didn't finish school, I had had a few side jobs, and I kind of just lucked into this radio thing. I didn't know it was what I wanted to do, but it's a form of entertainment, and I really love doing it.
I think there's all different kinds of level in your entertainment industry, so you have lots of opportunities. I follow you for the last couple years, and we're the older generation. Sometimes, how do you take it when? Because we're in, Pat Martin is like, up here, right? And so then you have all these people that are older that are like coming at you versus the young. Is it hard for you to mix? Because you seem comfortable with all age groups, or is it creepy?
Oh, absolutely not. Like, I love Pat Martin. He's got like 30 years experience on me, but he is one of the sweetest guys. He'll teach you anything you want to know about the industry. He doesn't look down on you for being younger. And a lot of radio people like that are the exact same way. Like, we're all, even though we don't work on the same stations or whatever, we may work across the country, but we all kind of know the struggle of being in this industry, and we're willing to help whoever, goes looking for it. And that's one thing that I love about Pat, is like my very first day, I was like, this is the sweetest person I've ever met in my life in this industry. And, if you're struggling and you don't know, how things are going to work out, he'll be like, look, I've been there, blah, blah, blah. You just got to do this, do that, and he'll always advise you. And Mikey does the same thing. He's been in the industry for about maybe 15 years. Stroke does the same thing. It's kind of just, the way that the industry is.
Yep. So, in closing, you guys are really peaking up here, right? How far, I don't know how far it goes. You just can keep the momentum going year after year, right? What's the equivalent for, like, they got in the entertainment, the movies, they got the Oscar, TV got the Emmy. For radio, what is there is there an award or is it just that piece of newspaper clipping where your name is there?
That's really what it is. There's I mean,
that's bullshit.
I do agree, but really it's not so much, you don't get the kind of recognition that you get with like an Oscar. It's really just it's a personal thing. Like, the only way we knew that we were #1 rock station in the country is our boss had to tell us because of the ratings, but nobody actually knows because there's not a ceremony or anything. So it's really just what the ratings people tell you, and then you go tell everybody else. And that's really all it is. There's no award. It's all just recognition, which I really don't need an award. I just love knowing that we're doing so well, and I want to keep doing that. And if there's never like a bronze statue that I get to take home, that's totally fine, because there is. We won Sacramento Magazine's Best Afternoon Show. I kept that magazine for myself, but when you win Best Rock Station in the country, like there's no press release or anything. It's just something that because the ratings people tell you, and that's something you can take with you to work.
Maybe that's better.
Yeah.
We're going to end on a positive note, but any shout outs to any haters from the East Coast to the West Coast? It's like, hey, you know what? They probably thought maybe somebody out there said, fuck you, Ian, you're going to California, you'll never make it, but here you are.
You know what? That's actually the exact opposite, because when we left Panama City, Stroke and I, to come out here, everyone was super positive because they were so happy to see us moving up in our careers. There were really no haters. There are haters now that say, I hate you guys for leaving, but they're happy that we're doing what we're doing, and they hate what happened to the radio station after we left. You know, they replaced it with another show that nobody likes, and they just hate that they can't have us anymore, which I love.
Left a void.
I that's what they say. I'm not saying it, but I get messages maybe twice a month saying, hey, I hate this radio station now since you and Stroke left, and I love that so much, but I also love the support that they gave to us. So there's really no haters when we left. There's haters when you take over for something else. Like there was another show when we came on to 98 Rock, but just like with any change, there's usually a transition and people just accept it, and they absolutely have, and I love them for that.
You guys have the best crowd. I mean, you got people from all age groups, you know, claiming to be a damn it. And, you know, I mean, I'm surprised you don't have, like, you know, a line of baby clothes yet and all the different things to raise these damn it's up right, you know, so.
The only thing we really have is we just have names for them because I don't know about a clothing line. We're still freshly new.
But you got that trademarked, right? You guys own that shit.
Oh, yeah. Our listeners are called Dammits, and we even have names for other people, like my listeners, like my fans, so we call them Dummits.
Oh, all right. Oh, please enlighten me. So you're the okay, Dummits are for you. Do you know everyone else's? Or
it's just me that has one. Okay, but our younger listeners, the ones who are under 18, we call them Dangits. Okay. And our kind of wider listeners, we call them Goddammits.
We're going to end on that. This is Shell with Reality Check TV Sacramento. We are day 2, Aftershock 2019. First time ever with the 3-day festival. We got Ian here from 98 Rock and That Damn Show. Stay tuned for some more.